Good afternoon, sellout in it, ladot. Say hi, say what's up. Noon zinige, Harelyan adli. Lushadzino hunt aho. Masidani dande. I guess years and hut aunala. Answer really. Realizing that that's any but halyast here. I was saying the new settlement as a Dene Yati, so I said I've been filling up my Amazon cart. And they came out with an email, and oh, I guess I'm gonna have to remove everything. But anyways, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Si Willis Janvier Hushe Nintelas Tuaziastio, Clearwater River Dene Nation band member. And doing Zinage Treaty 4 territorials in Noal Huntathi Dana Lisa. Doing Zinage. Give me a sec. Doing Zinage. Bell Let's Talk Day. So, yeah, mental health base doing zinige bangayaw to for might be a long one doing zinige. But good afternoon, Alan Bingo Man from Carnival Bingo, Margaret Josie. Good afternoon, Daily Fisherman. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Aurelia. Suna kids in who there ninte last Tuesday so. Gabine will hear back. Hopefully, see what they say if they want to bring the hockey tournament live. So with that, doing Zinige, I'm gonna kata Ashla Bahalias. He's been on here before. I hoping he's gonna join me. But doing Zinige, Bell, let's talk. Zinela, January 26th. I think Gabin Dane news getting it was like shared about 16 million times already. Doing Gabin Dane and good afternoon, Ash Lee. And I think you just hashtag Dahiondi. But it's always don't you see a boss about yet here, the Holla Zinege Bagaya Tini, especially Dene you boss, because they never and then I saw something doing it, it's funny that you see a Tlanint Ile. It's a bit strange, not Ekole. It just, I guess it was meant to be, Good afternoon, Ryan. And, then Durel Zade, Bits Ed Dew, and then a lot of times, then I saw, especially even, Nahin Dene Banani, Sertia, Sunka Nights a Delu, live off the res or the small town. And, because Saduno de la, city naza thershu no hanenes and dokasi. No hanene day we can go next door, China Lily, Harikyo. It's not the same. They see and $5 net you're gonna go, you're gonna eat rice without China Lily. That's hunt ulad duna, but nahi dene they don't get to support not there, at the Siga not there easy. Some people it's different. Some people don't have the family. Betu Beti Cuedo do, and Koni see a base like maybe school habits at do best Canada only day, and Ron, good afternoon. Good morning, Palm Springs. Good afternoon. I'm gonna say Victor and Cheryl. Good afternoon, Beverly. Bell, let's talk day. Yeah, Michael Hart from Taduli Lake. Taduli Lake Nahiga in the plane. And then I went. But I let's say like school nuts there who then best can who lean it's a cool, it's a kuta best can don't leon see it. A lot of times it's hard, you know. Maybe Alan Nauto, and then you gotta babysit. It's stressful, a lot of it. Kunti sia, sile on then kole rin chound la banani dere, and Dante from Treaties. Hello, Chels Laliberty. Sine Chile da kole the rin chout, la but I think, but then il knew, the last scene working out there. Like I've been done, last week, a COVID sorry there. Went at the, I don't know if I'm sleeping lesser, but I'm like, oh man, I was tired now. I got these. They're not just sen beyazan thella nedada. But I've noticed in I come to a little change, So it's always good. Baganya tire, hala no hal hotere the okay, after the fact. Der anta or der, deriti. What do you think? Lanusan. Sharon Chiki Taduli Lake, another one, Taduli Lake, is in Dena Taduli Lake Landunzi. Saizi Dene, know that. I was actually thinking about Taduli Lake. I think I saw a video. But anyways, Ron Desjardins has got no camera here. I'm not sure if he's with me now, but I cannot see him.
Shay's teaching.
Oh, Geneti. Okay, I'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay.
Okay. Ron, I'll that he's gonna join me. So it's an email on la and do mental health guy tier, yeah, and thank you for joining me. You chat degar no halialtia, Hey Leon Dlanet. So that's Ron Bahalias too, and just I might just continue, Donny Thasi, maybe take a break, or Tanta, if you want to join me, just message me on Facebook and then I'll send you a link. Or you can phone me, I'll put my phone number up. Just don't text me after 6 or so. If you want to make a quick call, and say something, give me a shout today. If there's Tata si Nick Ade, it's good. Just don't say your name. I respect everybody's privacy. A lot of people don't like to do that. And if you want to be anonymous, class near you, just give me a shout, and we'll get you on. We'll chat. To my family in Dave Nezu, to my family in Churchill, keep warm and Blizzard. I saw that Sharon Yazzie I posting la Edzara di bin donuts and either nichts each one the hindit Haskada Neskus. That's Darcy. But anyways, doing zinniget gani bagayas tiene si in Chile da cola bet aharin chout, online. And don't I has and that post it said no wonder then a hun tour got there see let's see. I mean class then yeah banani there on or even And then you can say, wow, and then but we always need help. No, it's Eddie, huh? And Ilosi. And I know Selot in it, everywhere. No haba. It's not easy. It's not always easy. City that's a dear. I know what hunt adi no hayati but urnil adi lo because and then another day every day you can use it. And I joke about it like China Lily her in if you're but the night did in a coin. You can go next door. It's true, Hey, it's just like hey. China Lily had dinner says hey true. Okay. Yes, it's anaga. Code diala. Could so that family kin no hanene. Ku and nade. Ishchikuja next door than he got it. A unit I don't even know who my neighbors are, but you know what I mean? It's on by they did it Walmart that you need to do, you know. It's different. It's difficult. The island are in it. If you want a place to live, the not new. Oh man, now it's samba stress alia. Beg a direct ill. So all of these things, just beg on ya tila especially do what and then it's like the person said, and no wonder people drink. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a choice, and then but it's always good. I support bits in it, and then you go longer. Nidanach and nida. A lot of times, sisaba, edaga. I tend to share that EC, mental health boss today, you know, and now, and not then another, you know, sorrow. A lot of times do it. There's people, not, and it's not people that, it's not people that are gonna go run into a drug dealer's house for you. It's before that moment. It's before that moment. Oh, Herediana, you know, Senik Echa. And always Bagayati, I don't know why, Dene Yude especially, what you see. And Zinege Bagayati, why is it so easy that Facebook is almost like a diary? Kuta in person day, do it, I mean, kontu hananal taundela. And then, like I said, Zinege, whatever was modeled for me, I ended up doing it. Because this weekend is a smoker, dance, cabaret, the whole year, easy, name it. But anyways, I used a question because I lived across. That's what I saw. And Nedo, Ashna Gorda, the Chalakwaza, and I was over there snagging, Alas, now you just, oh, it's okay. I remember, then a hell curse, yeah. And I didn't know this at the time, but you know, hun tuesanen dances a d. Oh, it's my response was well, I'm on vacation, unless now I'm just do this on vacation. And then she said, maybe it's genetic, Henny. And I've been arrested yeah, at the time, and it makes sense now, so Tani doing you doing, and there don't you see by he knew it. And so I see it now. I mean, it makes sense if you look at it like that. The do treatment center Hana and Altensi, so I ended up there. And thankfully, doing Zinega. It's not where I live, but I hamasini dano aundala. Like as a decola, why do we disregard it, eh? The simplest little things no yet yeah. Simple little phrases, one-liners. No haba o dile until we mess up. Haneze gale. Haneze gal dene backwards. Dlain kont ababa. Dlain kont Because a lot of times that's how I think, eh? I gotta learn everything the hard way. So tida euros as a do. And I agree. Ila docile. To do Dene godere sigoliana denondra. Of course, that's what I thought. Online. Now I'm a little more calm guy. It's a thing till I get frustrated. Till I get frustrated. Every man, oh man. Because not all days are just rainbows and sunshine, Plant it's the little things. So now I gotta go back and banane soda Aussie. Kont atlia sabah. And even Selienko will tell you, oh yeah, he'll smack me and yeah, sets in funa lianide. And I'll be like, oh man, big car. Body, mind, and soul. Do. Okay, I think Ron is ready. I think he's ready to join. If he unmutes himself, their mic isn't connected. Okay, there we go.
Give me a second.
Yep. Just turn your phone
I just got
sideways.
back from the bush not too long ago here, so
Yeah.
but I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can't figure it out.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but not loud.
Oh, maybe you got to turn up your volume.
I did. Something's messing with it, and I can't figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's got to be on your side. I think the audience, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it coming through okay? I can hear you good.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out here.
Okay, I'll let you figure it out. I'll give you like a minute or two. While he figures that out. Atlanta at their sound. Sont dit out. But Ron doon zinige c'est un email là. Ron Desjardins. Adin Kausi. En nahellin balya iltilini en nahellin. Denelin estenoni. But denedit out. We will talk. It's always good, Denahel. I know a lot of people get shy, camera shy, and even be in the public, public eye. Don't you see yet here? So, but I know people enjoy it. They're very encouraging behind the scenes. Just let them know. Just let people know. Don't need to hide. Just let people know. But doge ni gazi digo genola. Anytime conti siete, siguen as a date, Edu Edu zinege, Ron has left here a bit. I'm gonna play Shenhead. Oh, there he is. I was gonna play a song, but he's back here with us. I think he's got it figured. You hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's not loud.
Oh, maybe you need a new phone, Yeah. Just turn your phone sideways.
I'll use my earpods. I had wanted my wife to join us, but we can't hear you hardly. So
Okay. Yeah, just put your phone sideways and then we will get going. Oh, cool.
Okay, I have these. Oh, you're on. Okay, good.
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you now because I have these earpods on.
Oh, you're gonna be staticky actually with those.
Really?
You're gonna you're gonna. That's I don't know why, but that's just how Bluetooth is. Yeah.
Okay.
See,
Well,
yeah,
just give me a
you'll have
sec.
to fix those up. This is what it's like, You're always when you're dealing with technology, and then whoever's playing
okay,
behind the scenes, they can hear it. I think your wife.
okay, I'm just gonna hook up my wife here.
Okay. Okay, we'll let them get ready, set up. Tata question, no Hatsine. Don't be afraid to put it in the comments. This discussion is gonna continue. If there's a topic you want to talk about, throw it in the comments. One topic is not talked about a lot is suicide. Suicide, it affects all of us. Denesa, no yara suicide. In the beginning, I put the number Canada Suicide Prevention Services. It's a 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, 66 and leap year. But it's in phone number in 833 4566. Dene no niche etch ade kontunani dredjade. That's when you have to iPhone. So yeah, Ron Chubits Unquejano. Hello, adult.
That's all.
Oh, Nezu. And then Rose, you knew last time. I don't think I met you.
No, this is my first time.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to mute us, Leo, because of background noise. But Atlantic,
Eso Stella.
Nezu. Kutun zinege Atlantia Northern.
Can't you answer this morning? The Celia Bacana has Jala lost and
Oh,
the Zane is Zuna Ja. It's a
oh,
nigga head kinia.
yeah. Saskatoon's 18.
Illa the lost Naha y'all. Early Tunko this morning Bacana has Ja. Janice tea.
Oh, okay. Good doing Zineke. I know Nick runs it's an email and now he said I wanna join that, honey, then the do mental health na do bagaya tia lisi.
Okay, you're talking to me. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, no, just both of you. What do you guys see the importance of mental health? Today is Bell Let's Talk Day. And Ron, I know mostly you understand Denny, but it's unquit Rose, Dene I and I leave that up to you, but just so it works for all of us. That share you see just the importance of mental health bagay no nene tena za deal hunti see base.
Well, for me, I know that mental health is really, really important, especially now with COVID. I think we're seeing more and more of the symptoms of people suffering from mental unwellness in our community with drugs and alcohol and all kind of other things that are happening right now. I can speak from experience that my wife can attest to this. There was probably in my 20s, early 30s, I dealt with a lot of unwellness mentally, and there was a lot of depression in my life, and it was a long, hard battle and struggle. So I know what it's like for people who struggle with unwellness, especially mentally. It's much easier, probably. Physical pain in a lot of ways is much easier because sometimes you can just take a pill and you're okay with it. But mental wellness, if you're not well, it's really, really hard to pin that one down. And a lot of times people suffer in silence. I think that's the worst. And sometimes we see the results of people who suffer in silence, and especially when it comes to suicides. So it's a really important issue. And I think a lot of times people are just afraid or ashamed to talk about it, and it doesn't help. People have to be open, and how else are we going to help each other become better if we don't become open about what we suffer and what we go through as human beings? And I think a lot of time with mental wellness, people are meant to, especially long time, you need to go to some kind of psychiatric ward or something to get well. But there's a lot of people out there that suffer mentally, and unless they get some help and unless they recognize it and it's really, really hard to deal with. And that's why I'm saying a lot of people suffer from it silently. And that's not good either.
Yeah, a lot of good points there, and especially men, and I'm sure, as you talked about, in your 30s, your wife had to deal with you, and probably not being able to communicate well, and kunin rose na badlant, and there you had to deal with all this stuff. Ani ranati gayang you and going through and then then bak anil tad then not day.
The whole there COVID at Chelsea. I see at Duna San. Then papa na then papa tuela at their seats and not they than a zero at their COVID out be a you nana then a bequenta not deo. See kulo the Hansenek Satwela John a seats and whose son is to know at Dune Horace Iana. I because then a bequen had that good Aussie then about I but yani because of COVID depression. Not that none Jadani can I did nice a quickolo Catala Saril dig another because of depression
Mm-hmm.
and night a sheet and that dillo done dra COVID because but saying the color cannot do that dwella. I began stars.
Yeah, then I go there kind of pretty much wall not thick as in a and I think there you're just gonna hit that wall, eh? But boa baho and la huja, and a lot of people, and let's see for pointing that out, then then ane out a lot even in your own community, then another you get used to it and then kola tant as and need
None exactly better cars or like grandma's only better cars around near. I call up young Hitler. Such cars a bit unscrupulous not the horse in a who cannot did call horse in a but then extra. I ask Nadu but to cause a hell. It's depressing, Baba, you know what I mean? Because the seats are not there like where school colors are queen at Dilana. Nuni see colors on as a neshana. Kuna la hura I that banner the ha. I call it's think to banner certain but as a dweller. The ha a so jarena. I call it's depressing. I call about.
Yeah, then I don't know. I think cousin school as a deus a quick like school and delu or just online.
Sakwe school not there. Sakwe school not there every day. Kolo atu every day school not there. Kolo adjunct si bonester si takur like last week atala nak has sakwe boring la school na. Ay kolo bonester la. Tant u sakwe. Sarat sabaya tant u bak o new tant u ya bodi ha anestan la. Ay kula ban nestrena hayunus nustu kazunus kanu para ya tunita tanitana nestanarsi.
Just gonna mute Ron there. Or in Ani last week I sorry there in Lenny. and I was a bit worried nature, honestly. I don't know why. But he go to, do not Jow, and then it was like, it leads to something. And then I was like, oh man, we're doing Intelas tuna sao, and then I just gotta be careful, at the way snida zone. Nahin denkodani then it like that basa.
Not the rule nila. Like control there's altruistic and not to horos nila. To alusit aret tilu then a kwenta ni tela na then a tintaka na taras yela who telu you know what I mean, like masculine the rest elu. I koi then a kwenta not til si bara yacha tatani zanuli.
I mean, Holai, of course, doing last Thai nene who there's a edre that and a lot of times I get frustrated for sure. It's still there. We cannot, then a boring deal. I do that that diare. It's getting a little less steady. But then I saw some benik etch anat deal.
Kont or ni jan Dennis Iliad ahana, then a back honest hatiat aha. Yeah, master direct airline lie. Yak other 2 years, 3 years of it deal sanku. Then a bonnet hans nirena at their boring each I could as the master is alnis, but there is alnis. At Duna, I see at Duna sans at who, then sa quill, then I address on the could as it like school at Dilu, took a shopping and not deal, then not Dilu. None, but there is other, I hear that. Respect, then I respect, you're showing that person respect. Now I get it, but there is other. Cause but there is alien word than during ink is that's being disrespectful, and that's a lot of stress on people.
Yeah, I do. That's another thing that like Ani, Bagan Arish Kearney. A lot of things that there truckers who I protests or convoy and not dating see what Ottawa's a deal. And then I see it then at grocery stores bird yeah or Ceylon Neoto just pictures of that sale, and tenants and aboni the torn or chaza daran yanda, dlant any could do and to see maybe meat kondisi altana the harish tionela. So Tamba Basu Kondisiano Hodra and all because of this pandemic. Let's not see it just keeps getting added to one problem.
Ah, could there pandemic that do first time COVID or could do there's another one they're just adding different names as they go along. This one. Kahutu at iuzi other that da. Because at Durhana Kore Kutun Durhana Kore Duro, you know what I mean? I Yukro Danayana Nezura like Sisa Korlesa, Citrus and Nequesa Korlesa. Because see what I believe is at their my body, God created this body so I can fight any kind of disease. Okay? I can't how much or how much you can't tell ya to can do sanay at Dariator Nazinat Hini that cost that cost that at the that's a virus in it another henny at odila, because that's how it's made. Your body is made to fight any kind of disease.
Mhm.
And what this COVID, it stops it from fighting the whatever kind of disease you have.
Mhm. Kleine
Ayan
Code,
ese. Ha?
Kleine Halcode, you
Hama tabajo haba hama kose linisa.
know.
Neschilo hamata kola nedia at their cold medicine no kont asi anu haneshen nisa. At their nezi will fight back. It'll fight back if you're sick. It'll fight back any kind of virus or anything.
Mm. You know,
The whole
Asne the richt Asia NBC the Willie Denehoni. And a lot of Asne the Koda Dila,
mm,
You know, tla it's an Australia, sis clean is clean. Konu that a bachala ni kont asa and last and it I niso new or traditional ways igara so.
because tut ina they tut ina si hunil serena, then it's always a si hobazits anida. Like at their COVID, you know, it's gonna kill everybody. You know what I mean? It's gonna kill everybody that takes that needle. And you know what? And they won't tell people that that's what's gonna happen. And I see a lot of people saying, ever since I got this needle, I don't feel right. You know what I mean? I don't feel good. Because it's stopping what's supposed to be happening naturally. It's stopping that. That's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just wanted to add to that what Rose is talking about. When you talk about mental wellness, I think in a lot of our communities, there's a lot of strife regarding vaccinations. In some communities, I can't speak for every community. A lot of division is being caused, and plus, we get ostracized. I mean, we get put aside because we didn't get vaccinated. We're discriminated against, you know, in a lot of places. I'm really glad for our premier in Saskatchewan here, who's taking the right step and kind of moving away from the insanity that's going on in the world right now, especially in places like Australia. Imagine that. I mean, they're locking away people that don't get vaccinated. Imagine how, there was a video out the other day about the cops arresting a lady because she didn't show her card that she got vaccinated to enter a restaurant. And they threw her in a panel and went to lock her up. Is that how far we're going to go? We talk about mental wellness. This is something that's really being ignored by our leaders. There's a lot of mental wellness, unwellness that's going on right now regarding the whole thing around COVID and vaccinations, and a lot of confusion, a lot of fear, and as I said, a lot of division politically. It's really difficult for everyone because the way I see it is really politically driven and it's fear driven, and I think that's what our elders are seeing. I've talked with a doctor about this, and especially when it comes to child vaccinations, he's really against that because, and I've listened to others too, scientists with high profile, like Dr. Malone's one of them. He's a guy that invented this, but he's being ignored now by everyone because he's speaking against it because he didn't follow a scientific process in implementing this. The science was kind of thrown out the window, and they just wanted to rush this vaccine, right? But it's our kids. When the elders talk about our bodies and our bodies meant to fight these things, and when our kids don't have the opportunity for their own bodies to fight against COVID, um, it's going to wreck their immune system, and I think that's the fear from some scientists. It's going to ruin their immune system in the long run. And already, I mean, they're telling us that if you take too much of the booster shots, it's going to ruin your immune system, you know. But I mean, there can be a long debate on this, but I mean, the whole issue we're talking about is mental wellness, and how do we get mentally well? Well, you know, when you start talking about COVID and vaccinations, let's talk openly about it. Let's not shut off people. Even here in our little community, you get shut off from the very people that you want to talk to about these things, the health professionals. They ignore you. They think you're crazy because you're looking at it from a different angle and you're questioning. And somehow we're not supposed to question those gods, you know, because they've set themselves up now as knowing everything. Is we're not supposed to question. We're supposed to just do this, you know. But yeah, for me, I feel strongly about this stuff because I know there's a lot of people out there questioning, and some are just doing it because they have so much trust in medicine and in the medical world. But it's really unfortunate what's happening right now across our world, and it's going to get worse. I don't think it's going to get better, you know. But yeah, it's causing a lot of fear in a lot of people. For us, I mean, Rose and I'm not afraid of it. Um, we haven't gotten it yet, but I'm still cautious. I'm still careful. But you know, if I get it, well, if my body can't fight it and I end up dying, well, that's okay too. You know. But even scientists now are starting to say that natural immunity is way better. They're starting to back off now and saying, yeah, you know, this is better for people to develop their own immune system in battling this. But yeah, I don't know a lot of the viewers out there what their perspective is on this, and I'm not a guy that's going to say don't take it. That, you know, I'm pro-choice. I'm all about pro-choice. People need to be able to talk about this and quit being shut down. You know, talk about it, and if you're comfortable with taking it and you think this is good for you, well, do it. But if you're not, well, that's another option for you too as a human being. I mean, that's what our whole society is based on, equal rights, and that seems to be eroding too now. You know, why is there such a huge demonstration going on in Canada? It's all related to that. We're seeing our rights being taken away, and they're being taken away slowly. I heard an Auschwitz survivor, you know, talk about what happened in Germany. This is how it happened, really slow. People were starting to be trained and brainwashed into this kind of thinking, and all of a sudden it was okay now to kill Jews. You know, you reported them, you did whatever you can to get them, and this is my fear, is that this is where we're heading. People are going to be stripped of all their rights and not be able to say or do anything. And we're already seeing that in a supposedly democratic country like Australia. That's one of the leading examples. There's others like Austria. There's a lot of other countries right now that are moving that way, and it's a scary time for for people who love freedom and freedom of choice. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's I mean, all of this is become very political for sure. There is no doubt, you know, and you know, I can really sense from the both of you, you know, and we're here to talk about mental health, that it affects both of you, you know, in different ways, and I can really it's I can hear you guys' frustration in the system, in the healthcare system, from the government, you know, leadership and everywhere, you know, because everything is different up north.
Yeah.
And so you guys deal with things differently. You know, it's just like in the beginning, okay, Scott Moe shut you guys down. He closed
Yeah.
off the north, you know, and now he was there recently, you know, in the north, and Saskatchewan Health advised that Northerners not travel as much to the south
Mm-hmm.
because you know that I mean it can go either way, but you know, I'm sure many of people can relate to your frustration, you know, when it comes to mental health. Can leave COVID over there, but at home? How is it affecting us? How is it affecting us as a community? How do we go forward, as a community in trying to bring back some. I don't even know if we'll ever have any normalcy, because I believe it as people that fear is in us now. As I mentioned earlier too, I got to go north this week, and I'm going to have a bit of be cautious. Of course, that's driven by fear.
Yeah.
I think we just all have that now.
Yeah. We have a friend of ours phoned us. His son was part of the RCMP. He refused to take the vaccination, so of course he lost his job. But he got a job in the States as a police officer. And he phoned up his dad and he said, Dad, he said, it's normal over here. He said, nobody talks about COVID. Nobody wears masks. It's just normal,
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
a friend who's down there too, and I said, I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, everything's normal." So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really unfortunate we have to do that, and I want to get into this next thing to both of you. I'm gonna guess that the two of you like to, you keep up with current events in the news.
Well, not as much as we'd like, but we do catch snippets here and there. I do a bit of research usually in the early mornings. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear some of our elders talking about a vaccine. If we look at our oral history with loss of the people, I value everyone's opinion. Yeah, and Kontu, that's what it's all about. It's all about having discussion. And I thank you guys for coming on here and doing this, because I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with you, and some might agree with you.
Of course not. Yeah.
We are on a public platform.
Yeah.
I've got people everywhere, and this movement you talk about, there's truckers all across Canada going the other way, and I've seen, maybe you have seen it, that oh yeah, maybe what if we got an indigenous person to lead the front, and this is my opinion, is anytime we've have tried to form a movement, we get backlash,
Yeah.
and now the other side is trying to, okay, why are they, it shouldn't be one-sided,
Yeah.
and everything that comes down to, you guys talk about it, it's just one-sided.
That's how it is. Remember that boy that walked all the way to Regina?
Yeah.
They didn't even. It wasn't something that was important. They kind of just dropped it,
Mhm.
and then now they have these truckers. It's a big deal.
Mhm.
Could no need then when we try to do something, it's not recognized. People just kind of just shove it aside, and it's like what we want to do is not important. Our issues are not important. Just like residential school, neither and all these kids that are getting found, and and they've got buried and they're getting found. It's like an issue that's just like it's getting shoved away, but we have to live with it every day. And it's something that I will never forget. When I went to residential school, it's
Mhm.
because people that haven't gone there, they don't understand. That's the reason why they shove everything aside, even what this we're when we're trying to do something, the government just shoves it. But when we got gold mines, all these mines up north, then they come and they try to take everything away from us. That's the only time they know we have something good. But other than that, when we try to do something, we get knocked down. Even by our own people, we get
Mhm.
knocked down.
Yeah, y Connie Bagayas tiene lateral violence, dene hanere ni gar ide online, haneno zi. And I've experienced it, dene klasida diola everybody, and dlant ani then konta, it's I know a Llanets in Dale, there's no doubt that communities in the North Llanets in Dale then it's a dire. But there's a little bit of the squirrels in the background not did kasi that tend to arc stuff at trying to bring each other down.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, sorry.
Kont at orini at the like God sakwi no reserve not they non nekatala they're trying to commit suicide. They're because we have all these meth coming into our community. And then I talk about with a woman. I talk about what if we form something. We as women, we're the backbone of this community. How come we can't get together and we can't do nothing? And then I say, who will be there to help us to do this, so we can help. If we love our grandchildren, we love our kids. Ay kut asa tak kole sanin ta tak kole kosetlin la rose. Let's do this together so we could make it better for our kids and our community. They never come back and say, I'll help you. You know what I mean? Because Nuni Danadaiti, we never want to see people achieve something. We're always cutting down everything. So we're busy cutting down each other instead of raising up each other. Ayant esa. We'll never get nowhere as long as this continues, and we're going to have all these issues.
I just wanted to add to that. When you talk about lateral violence, I think for a lot of our people, they just don't and not just our people, but as a society as a whole, this has gone on for so long that it's going to take a lot of time and effort to unravel this, because this is a psychological thing. This is something that has been done for so many years, and we've been conditioned now to think one way. The white man, thinks another way, and we also been told to think a certain way. So this is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take some time and effort, and especially for the kids now that are coming, to have an equal footing in our society. And I mean, we do see some hope. We always value those people that see the light and come to our defense in terms of helping us recognize who we are as indigenous peoples. But this whole conditioning thing, it's been there. I mean, I remember years ago we used to go to Friday night movies, John Wayne, and my experience back then was whenever the cavalry would come over the hill, we're all cheering, because the Indians are being killed. Why did we do that? Because we were conditioned. It was normal for us to think like that, and that's how we grew up. Years ago, when I was a principal here at Birch Ridge, the one that's torn down now, the school, I always remember this. There was a volleyball tournament going on, and I was a principal there, and I was standing next to a friend of mine who had blonde hair and blue eyes, and this little kid come bouncing in from a different community, came right up to us, and who did he ask? It was the principal. The blonde, blue-eyed guy, right? Because that's the way they're conditioned. How can this guy here be the principal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to take this phone call, Willis, very quickly. Rose, you want to hold that phone?
Yeah, thank you for that, Ron. It's gotta mute one of them.
That's Keegan.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't ubagan yet here. It's lateral violence into it. It makes sense. Even no hayat here kola do ne dual ila, to make it easy. Deneha, it's that's part of it too. Like even Lant lant dena de el tila tot inena dere, because it's comfortable for them, but it's uncomfortable for us. Kontu klasi nani dere, lant why do I have to go do it that for him? And then no hanene de tu then klasi gena dere yegan yeltie, it's then it takes a community that dini, to raise a child, oh diondala, and kontu koni dene lade, hey, no hayatiu, no hachala new no dut dias, I'm sure Ron, maybe, and then you take kids or people on your trap line, you teach some days, and that might be gone one day,
Yeah, yeah. And I think for me, like when I think about even the trap line, these things that I do, well, it's part of my own mental wellness too. I get a sense of pride uh, for my dad, from my grandfather. Sometimes I can, going down the trap line, I kind of imagine they're looking at me and saying, "Yeah, right on, good for you. You're following our footsteps," and that gives me a sense of well-being as a human being. And I mean, let alone the fact that I'm out there in nature, enjoying life, enjoying the fresh air. There's so much that sometimes in our community we'll hear people who say, I hate this place, this Turner Lake. Well, maybe you need to expand out a bit, because there's a lot of beauty surrounding us here. And the only reason that our community sometimes feels like a bad place is because of we're negative to each other, as Rose mentioned, and that kind of really harps on our mental wellness, and it's really difficult for us. But in order for us to be better, yeah, we really, really need to value and support each other, and value the gifts that the Creator has given us. And I always talk about this even to young people. I'm kind of a late bloomer. I had a love for music for many years, but because of ridicule, or because meant to feel, I wasn't good enough, I kind of didn't really develop it or explore it. But as I got older, I had a purpose for it. I did it to express my own feelings, my own faith, my own, society issues. I write songs about those kind of things. But for me, again, that's part of my mental wellness is exploring and making my gifts better, to be enjoyed, not just myself, but maybe others that would appreciate it. But we need to do that with our kids, because there's some kids right now that are, man, you can just see the gifts in them. And if we ridicule them and laugh at them and feel that they're not good enough, well, it's going to be buried, and it's going to take a long time for them to be able to realize. And for some, unfortunately, that's where it dies. It's not, it doesn't come out. But yeah, it's crucial for us to recognize in our kids, like when I think about musicians, look at Liren Piche in our little community, 14 years old. Oh my goodness, you heard her.
yeah,
Just an awesome musician. These are the kind of kids that we need to give support and put them up there, because they're going to put our name on the map, our community on the map. But
yeah,
this is what we need to do in order for our kids and ourselves to be better. Is let's start seeing the good and what we can contribute. Our leadership, I always tell our leadership, if you need my help, come talk to me. I'll help you as much as I can. But that's what we need to do. We have to, otherwise we're going to die. We're going to bring our kids along, and our kids are going to die with us, man. Even the Bible talks about that. It says, where there's no vision, the people perish. And if we don't get that vision started and going amongst our people in terms of being mentally well and being able to be self-determined as a nation, it's going to be difficult. But part of that is dealing with each other. Why do we have all these issues with alcohol and suicide? It all boils down to people not feeling good about themselves, having their own issues, and lack of self-confidence, lack of self-determination in terms of being able to express themselves. I've been there. I know what that's like. That's why we need to teach our kids. We need to teach people and help them along that, so that down the road, we're a great nation, our Dene Nation across Canada. I mean, look at how big it was way back then. Imagine 90% of our people died because of smallpox, what it would have been like today. So, yeah, there's so much we can offer each other and to make our communities and each other better. We can't do this alone. We suffer in silence. We can't do it alone. We got to talk.
Yeah,
We got to reach out.
we have to rely on each other. If you don't rely on each other and you think you can do it by yourself, you'll never do it. As I really admire. My mom had 22 kids, and you know what? My mom was a role model to me. My mom she showed me a lot of things, and today I appreciate all the things that she showed me. And I could be able to teach my kids. I teach my kids, and my girl's running that community kitchen, and I'm really proud because I look at her and I can say, I taught my girl how to do that because my mom showed me how. And that's what we have to do with our young people. We have to teach them how to do things, not sit on the computer all day, play games. We have to teach them how to survive. My mom never had an education, but she taught us how. You know, God gave us a mind and hands, body to work with. My mom used to always say, you'll never get anywhere. And she's right. And we got to teach our kids that nothing comes on a silver platter. I look at my mom and I say, the reason why I say she's my role model, she never gave up on us. My mom never drank. My dad drank, but my mom was always home taking care of us. She never ever said to us, oh, just because your dad drinks, I'm going to go drink. Not once. Tuhong kunt ela, tuhong dana you da zakuya kaniyao asa asik ana hazaro. That's really mental issues on our kids. There's going to be no food. People, they spend every cent they have thinking that's fun. Because I was there, I thought it was fun. But it's not fun. We pay for it when we get older, when we have our kids and our grandchildren. The way I talk is not because my mom told me these things. And I really appreciate that. It's true. Hamako says another that and that is true. And it is true. Because they knew. They knew ahead of time. And they're not just old people and we can just shove them in a closet. It doesn't work like that.
I just wanted to make a correction on what Rose said. I came to her on a silver platter.
That's because we worked as a team.
That's a good one. It's always good to throw something funny out there and something so serious. But doing Zinege, to have this discussion, I hope many people can be able to do this, and ani dirt I going TNC. You talk about leadership. A lot of there's not many mental health boss or resources for people. I know Laloche Clearwater has a treatment center. I'm not sure how often their program is, or if COVID has affected any of that too. Again, but from leadership in the north, what do you think that would be good? To have treatment center somewhere, or to what can they do to help provide these resources for people, because it's not just about an 8-day detox and then you're clean. When it comes to drug and alcohol, it's continuous. Doing it nahin Dennis 40 years clean. Okay, you still got to live one day at a time. You're not
Yeah.
cured from this.
Yeah. It's that's a tough question you're asking. It's probably been thrown around for how many years I've heard that. But the thing with a lot of these programs, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're an important part of everything. But the missing ingredient is our own people in all of this. This is where we need to really work on healing our own people and lifting them up, and making sure that their well-being is paid attention to, and not in a sense of spoon feeding them, but I think that whole process, and it starts with our young people, is getting them to recognize just who they are as Dene people, as Cree people, as First Nations peoples, what it means for them to be in this society as a First Nations person. And we are unique in a sense that our Creator put us here. This is actually our land. And there again, our thinking is not our land, it's somebody else's land. And but there again, that's that whole brainwashing process that we've been put through. So that needs to be all restructured and done. Years ago when they talked about autonomy for schools, unfortunately, what happened then was, yeah, okay, we give you your school, you run it, but all we did was took along all that baggage we had and put it in it with a different title, with a different name to it. But it was the same thing that we fought against for so many years to get rid of. And those are some of the things that need to be changed, even with the curriculum development, because as long as the government is going to continue making us believe that we don't have a right, we don't have a voice, we don't have any right to be able to be self-determining in terms of autonomy and being able to work on developing and working on our own communities. You look up north with all the mining development that's occurring, revenue sharing, some of that money, some of that resources need to be brought to the communities to be shared. Look at our infrastructure. How many billions of dollars through the uranium industry have gone away from here? And look at our roads. It's shameful. This shouldn't be happening. The government is making millions of dollars off our backs, and yet, that's why for a lot of us, we feel we are powerless. We have no voice. And you talk about mental wellness. There again, it all goes back to that. We maintain that status quo of thinking so lowly of ourselves. I guess we just need to shut up because we'll never get anywhere. So we need to try and put, I'm not campaigning for anybody here, but we need to put our own people into those places of power, But we have to make sure that the people we put there understand what exactly is happening in our society and how they can help us overcome a lot of these issues that we're working with and working under, because it needs to change. It has to change. UNDRIP is asking for that. Truth and Reconciliation is asking for that. Those are the very things, you know. You look at something like the Doctrine of Discovery. How many people in government are going to be able to acknowledge and admit to that and say, yeah, that was wrong. Let's change that now. You see, these are a lot of things that need to be looked at and need to be done in our society. But we need to be vocal about it. We need to talk about it in our homes, amongst our children. My little grandson is 9 years old. I sit and I talk with him about some of these issues and what has happened to us. He asks about those things, you know. He wants to know what happened to grandma at residential school. Why did all these things happen? But those are the things that we need to put into our children to be able to understand so that they can be strong and vibrant down the road, that they can be decision makers. They can decide what happens to us here. Right now, we don't have that. That's where we need to head, and that's where our leadership. You asked about leadership. Well, they got to have that vision. We can't keep these band-aids going on forever because they haven't worked. We need to be able to uplift and encourage and train and build our people to be strong and resilient, you know, and educated so they know what they're doing. Too many people are put into office and they have no clue what they're doing, and then they get pooped upon because they messed things up because they never took the time to be able to understand all that stuff that needed to be done. And I'm talking about some of our reserves, you know. But yeah, we have a long ways to go here, but we got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. Yeah. The dialogue needs to begin. We need to start talking about this stuff. Yeah. Sorry, you get me started. I can't shut up.
No, that's you know, it's very good to have that conversation because you know there is an election coming up. I cannot talk about that, but you know, anybody who is put in power, you know, you got to have faith in the people. It's not just you know, who is your family member,
Yeah,
who is this, you know, we got to educate each other. It comes down to education.
yeah,
You know, we're not docking people that you know, there's some people like Rose mentioned, you know, she went to residential school. A lot of people are affected by it. And then that created intergenerational trauma where people never got to finish their you know, their education, you know,
yeah,
and my mom shares that with me sometimes too. And you know, a lot of people just okay, a Facebook idea is not something that can be in a political office, you know, and I think we all have that. We all have that Facebook opinion
yeah,
and where we get our info, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned doctrine of discovery.
yeah,
You know, that's a piece of legislation, I believe, that was brought in for the white man to take whatever, you know, away from us.
yeah,
And it still happens, you know, all of these things that you know, ja Dene Yati podcast ke no chala nuno ya tie bagayas tie. You know, at their Torian is a dog SC leadership, you know, and I'm not just talking about Turner as, you know, because you're my guest here today. It's everybody. At Tenanede, we're all affected by it. And we gotta be able to do this don't you know, not as I'm gonna stand up against this, you know, it's just a conversation. But
yeah,
you know, Torliu Sigan as a day, it's I know leadership, they do a good job and trying to keep up with everything, but you know, hearing the people's voices is another good thing too, right? And without confrontation. I think that's one thing we all see, you know,
yeah.
is the frustration and the emotion comes out when we try to have these conversations.
You know, I'm reminded of an elder who gave me some advice. He said, you know, it's not what you stand against, but what are you standing for? And that's a perspective we need. It's not so much against, but what are we standing for? What are we speaking out for? What is it? You know, and and that's how we need to be able to address these things. Is this is what we want. This is how we see it. This is what we need. This is where we need to move forward. There was an activist. He's passed on now, and from BC, and well, I forget his name. I'm getting to that age now, but it slipped my mind. But one of the things he said was that 99.8% of the landmass belongs to Canada, as a whole, the people in Canada, the governments, the industry, the corporations, private ownership. 0.2% of the land belongs to our people. And he said, how can we survive, let alone thrive, when we don't even have a land base that we can make use of in order to help our people, as a resource, to help our people to be able to do these things that are necessary when you think about infrastructure and you think about governance. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I really like what this new minister that spoke out and said, we have to give the land back. He said that publicly, and as to where it's going to go, well, let's see, because this is a system that's going to be really, really hard to bring down and for people to change. It's really entrenched, and I mean, systems are really, really, really difficult to change, and it's going to take some time again there. Everything needs to be restructured. But I hope that there is good faith in being able to do that and rectify some of this injustice that has occurred. Revisit the treaties. Let's redraft all that stuff. It's time. It's not a done deal. Somehow they think it's a done deal, and that's it. We get our little $5. Okay, be happy now. Go buy some bubble gum. No, that's not what this is about. We need to sit at the table again. Let's talk about this. There's too many issues that are there that need to be dealt with.
Yeah. Kunnen Rose Atlani then, you're true something die but
I was thinking about Ronnie's right where we educate our community. We send our people for education to get to be a nurse, to be a carpenter. But at Jadarin Kanai Dehana, could eat the school nine the rose school and not arena. But they don't use those people. They get other people from different communities, different places. Those people they get from different places they don't know our needs, what this community Turner Lake needs. If you hire somebody to be a NADAP coordinator, okay, that person you hire from Turner will know what Turner Lake needs. They get training. They go to school. They get training. You bring them back here. They know what the community needs. And then even a teacher, you get a teacher to go to school. They come back to Turner. There's a lot of teachers in Turner. They hire other different people from different communities. That's okay, but we should use our own people. Ban office then I think calls it then Sahatala Nelisa. Aduna Dana. Then they don't even know what we need. They don't even go make home visits. They don't even ask you phone the clinic. They don't even say, how are you doing? How was your day? It's like you walk inside there, you're totally a different stranger. Because they don't go or talk to you on the phone. That's kind of, it really crushes me because I lived here for so many years. I've worked with people and I know who my people are, but different people come in. It's hard because they don't talk to you. You don't know who they are. You go to the band office, you go to the health director. I don't even know who she is. You go to the band and administrator, then you don't even know who he is. Different faces for different places, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Andrew,
and that's really, really frustrating, because why are you spending the money on all these people, training them? And we always say we want a better community, but we're crushing our people that we're training to be a teacher, and we're not giving them jobs.
mhm.
They have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Example, we have an electrician. They don't even recognize that electrician. Why do they pay for his wages to go to school?
Mhm,
I'm not being I'm not being racist or anything, but that's the way I feel.
mhm,
Our people are the only ones that are going to be helping us, and maybe outside resources that we can use too.
mhm. Gani, just like this comment, Ron, and bilateral behaviors have to change in our community. Hennyet, Dene sa school card dela, Henides and Benens and in Delu, and that's what it comes down to, It isigan yo no hanenet no ni sida ilde, dok no hanenesi nen sido de. No, it's not called no Bayou Leila, and that's what I'm hearing. Do don't uyo no honest I believe just like the upcoming election, make sure you vote I then see, because it makes a difference. It goes a long ways. And Samba Bas it, Samba makes everything move,
Yeah.
and that's we gotta look at that too, right? Like and then just like do mental health base, yes, myself, see Sani, see Ron, you had to make up your own, we gotta make up our own minds as individuals, and then be able to move ahead, then no hayetie base, then siga not dela. Sanis in daily day, it's gonna be a little harder, So kunt one as senar seen that nuni as individuals to be our own leaders. We don't
Yeah. You know,
need to be in chief and council or mayor and council. We just got to be our own leaders.
I just wanted to add that uh, not to cause any trouble to anybody or to feel sorry for myself, but I have experienced a lot of lateral violence in our community as an educator, but only because I spoke the truth. I said what I needed to say. I'm not radical, but when I see something that can be changed, I don't just bring it up, but I also make suggestions as to how we can make it better. And sometimes those kind of things, they're not taken very well, you know. Um, Years ago, I remember I was working in Big Island by Meadow Lake. There, I was teaching there, and I had a telephone interview, and I got a job. They gave me a job here, school board member. They gave me a job as a grade 4 teacher. Position was open. Well, we're excited. We can go home. Told my wife, let's pack up. We can go home now. And we got a job. Well, got here. July rolled around. I think close to August, somewhere there. I found out that the chief had overruled the school board's decision to hire me, but nobody told me anything. Now I was stressed, you talk about mental unwellness. Well, I was there, and now I had to scramble for a job. But I had an interview. I was called for an interview in the lodge, and Dene Heidi had the interviews there, and I remember driving up there and just questioning. These are younger people probably applying for jobs. I haven't been teaching in the province for so long. I wonder what the questions they're going to ask, and I was just, and at the same time praying too, right? I got over there, and the superintendent motioned me and said, come, they're ready for the interview. I walked in there. There was administrators, principals, and school board members sitting all around, and there was a hot seat. I went to sit down, but the superintendent stood at the door, and she said, "Ron," she said, "I'm busy, and I'm sure you're busy. I've got things to do, and you've got things to do. These people here think very highly of you. So I only have one question for you. Do you want the job or not?" See, here was a community that valued me, as opposed to my own community who kicked me in the butt, and you know but that's lateral violence. And the more that you speak out and point out issues that need to be rectified, well, the more you're going to face that kind of lateral violence from your people, which is unfortunate. I always remember one book where the author said, when the oppressor stops oppressing, then the oppressed each other. And that's where we're at right now. And that we need to be able to battle that. Until we can get out of that, we will never be well mentally. We will never be self-determining. We have to get over that kind of stuff. But those are some of the issues. I mean, that's just one story that I have. And I'm sure there's a lot of other stories that people can tell from other communities. Just one really quick one again, because I need to tell the stories in case people are listening to this kind of stuff. But I remember the first time that the band took over the school, and they hired a white principal. They hired a white school director. Okay. And as the year went on, I had my issues towards the end of the year. I pointed them out. I wanted to meet with the school board, which were autonomous, right? So they allowed that for me to go see the school board. So I walk in, the director's sitting there. So I said, "I need to talk to you, the decision makers, not the director. I need to talk to you guys." Well, he refused to leave. Did any of my people say, "You need to leave, sir"? No, because of mentally, they were not in charge. He was in charge, you know. So there again, those are things I'm talking about that we really need to fix and start thinking better of ourselves, start making our own decisions. But yeah, but that's where we're at. You talk about, you talk about mental wellness. Well, it's there's so many things out there that we need to work on in order for us to be better. Yeah, to get well. Eh? Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for sharing. This has been a good conversation. I've got to end this very soon, but
Mm-hmm.
to give that opinion, of your experiences, not just
Mm-hmm.
an opinion, but your experiences, sharing that openly for people to hear, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate in other communities. It's
Yeah.
and it's not about knocking any
Yeah.
leadership in their own communities, but this is your experience, this is what you experience, and there's not going to be any rebuttals here or anything. It's about getting that out there and making like you said, the dialogue is let's expand it, instead of just the regular stuff, because I believe in the last 3 years, who there's under we see a little bit more and more about mental health talks and people coming out,
Yeah.
and let's grow that.
Yeah.
There is progress. It's not that everything is all nothing's changing, yada yada yada. There is a bit of progress, but I think
Yeah.
going forward we can do more, definitely do more.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
Well.
I want to thank you guys. I don't know where Rose went, but for joining me today and having this discussion with me. I feel it's important to for people to see what we've talked about here today.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for inviting us, and I was hoping there'd be more,
Yeah.
but that's all right, I guess. But yeah, I think we've all been victimized. That's how we need to look at this. We can't blame people for
Hmm.
our experiences. I hold no grudges against anyone,
Hmm.
because I recognize that we've been victimized, and
Hmm.
we need to work together on being able to recognize that stuff and move forward. That's how we'll help our young people become who they need to be in our society. Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. Must see Cho Never seeing Ron. I don't
see.
know where your wife went, but just tell her I said thank you for joining us here again today, and another day maybe we can have another discussion. The two.
Mm-hmm. Okay, merci.
Must see. Have a good day.
You too.
All righty, man. That was Sasa. Siga Yati. Is it live? Yeah, we're live here. Dene Yati podcast. We're over an hour of streaming here today. Danuthen. I know it's very interesting. Konti Siga Yatire. I appreciate Ron and Rose, and you can hear their frustration now, definitely. Because we're all affected by it, and I'll use them because you guys have been able to see, but it's mental health, the frustration that we talked about. It affects us all in little ways. This, that you see, seen a chilla in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Well, if we go back in history, they in Nisse hundreds of years ago, Tha Sibon there. Okay, doing a chajala. And I think that's what Ron was talking about, leadership boss, because we got to be confident, then it's not just about showing up for a meeting. Okay, you want to show up to a meeting day, you got to have the voice. If I want to show up, Dene Yati, get yes, tears, I got to have that voice. You got to be confident to do this stuff in your own way, your own communities, your own leadership roles thene as individuals. Title hadi, and yeah, it's very good. Tlanuthen, what are your thoughts? Throw it in the comments. I don't know how much longer I gotta go. Celia is gonna be done school. And gonna have to get going, but might be cool if there's more people that come out and say have these conversations, and because you hear people's experiences. And again, I'm not here to bash on anybody, but you hear people's experiences. Because I think mental health boss today just affects us differently. No, don't do no I cannot. There's a nick etch. Of course, Kani Ron hello Nina Labant and let's see. Oh yeah. Well, hey, that's someone's livelihood. Kutlon to 30, 30 or 31 ago, I decided to go to university. Oh, Tombadi. That's all I knew. Mental health. Stress. Klarte den stress that we deal with. Our bills. I'm going to go check my mail. The mail ladies probably brought more bills, Sadalizanu. I'm like, oh man. What? So, it's all good stuff. I appreciate everybody. I commented, Jossie. I know, this has been something new, I believe. I think Marlene Grooms will agree because she's a host. If you're still here today, to do live streaming this, people call, radio get a, you don't see anybody doing it. You get to see, no hayati ahu. Might be English too, because now he done it. We're not able to converse, but I think we got something here. That's a dear sigan yet here. So So yeah, that's all I got. The Dune Zinekeha. You know, I think we open up a can of something. Dune Zineke. And I hope you know, you guys heard something maybe you needed to hear. I rest honestly. That might help you. You know, okay, yeah. You know, because Dene Yati nahi not usi no al hodire no hababor and niondala kutot inade. There's not awesome that essentially, you know, just yeah, you know, anytime when you're interviewing me, you know, don't use big words, honey. Cause no hayetie koni words do diondala. I don't need to use big words and no hayetie. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Say yatia this kola no say yatia yes tire beneru niala. The way I understand, because you got to paint a picture here, you know, as a host. So, with that, must see Chona Hosia Salotina. It's been a good hour and 42 minutes, you know. John Tuhadines there, Daisy upstairs before I get the headache. Dry. But, anyways, I appreciate you all. Must see Cho for the, you know, continued support, you know, to visiting with me. So you know, every other day. Gabinti, I'll be live again on 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay, so but then also Ayere Navajo Dene Balestia Gabi. So Totina Asa. Ban Lauto Noga no Nenesi. Saduno de la Si Denuto. Not other Thai Bazi, you know, different. But anyways, I'm stop rambling here. Masi cho salatine dun zine de da garno basuga wale. Doge no desi no hanena the dol new. Make sure you just respect people and their boundaries, you know, that do yes, no, and all that good stuff. And maybe Tlanta, you know, hello new to Atlantic, you know, compliment them something, brighten their day. You never know. Neither, but unra on that one. So with that, Masi Cho, you have a good day. Si Willis Janvier Hushe Nintelas towards Yastion, Lalash, Saskatchewan, Clearwater River Dene Nation band member. Says in treaty number 0. And I join you doing Treaty 4 territory. See y'all tomorrow.